Welcome to I Know a Guy Bicycles, hanging out with a guy. Hi, I'm Justin, the guy. So today we're going to talk about, is it the time to buy a bike? The time is now. Why do I say that? Well, quite simply that we have overstock situation by manufacturers, and those big brands are starting to put stuff on sale that they just need to move to recover their running capital, and the opportunity for use is becoming a lot more available. On top of that, I got big news at the end here for one of the big manufacturers. But first, we're going to talk about the used market. The used market is what I'm talking about: road bikes, mountain bikes, whatever kind of recreational riding you do. In a general marketplace, Facebook marketplace or Craigslist or Pink Bike, the volume is starting to get out there. The pricings are actually going down. You can negotiate a little bit better pricing to offset the cost of having it tuned up and have those things done, which is awesome. That being said, getting into cycling or just starting off, that's a good thing. Definitely check my top 20 list of things to look for, or top 5 when you're looking for a used bike. That will help you guide you to see what you're looking for and what you potentially might be getting into. But if you're looking for a bike from me, this is a good time to buy because I have free shipping. But in other spectrums, the Pros Closet and some other shops are having some really big deals this time of year. This is one of those situations like the pregame of the kickoff. And when things get rolling in the season, we're going to be so busy, we're not going to be so open to discounts or lowering our prices and so forth. But we're looking at Pros Closet, they're providing free shipping over a certain dollar amount too, which is a huge savings because shipping right now is very expensive. And in addition to, think about this, you can contact them directly about a specific bike and see if they'll go even lower on a certain bike. You can double check the value on a lot of bikes on Bicycle Blue Book, and that will give you kind of a gauge. It's not the end all be all of pricing. Don't get me wrong there, because it doesn't accountable for seasonality and the COVID numbers and all that, but it gives you kind of a good benchmark. So you get to do that year, make, and model. And if it's on there, you'll be able to identify if it's a pretty close to appropriate price. Keep in mind that Pro Closet and myself, we put time into that bike. In other words, to tune up and it's all ready to ride and all those kinds of things. You got to consider that as another $200 to $300 to $400 extra value, because if you buy a used bike from Craigslist or Marketplace or Pink Bike, you may have to or will have to pay for that pricing at the end. So keep that in mind too. That's the value prop that we provide, which is awesome to bring in people into the cycling industry, or in cycling of family, basically. So talking about manufacturers, going to shift gears. Going to the big companies like Giant and Specific Specialized, they have a lot of discounts. They did a lot of discounts on some of their bikes, and they still have them for sale now. When they're also doing a more of a power grab move to be ahead of the other big name I'm going to mention here in a moment. And try to move some of their units and get their branding out there. It's all about kind of like, you sell a bike for them, it's also branding. So you got that combination of 1-2 situation going on there. Well, in addition to that, they're giving that white glove service to the in-home, or you go to your local shop close to you to have a pre-built. Those are all those value preps to that. So used market versus new. I'm going to talk about just for a brief second. In road bike specific, and that's my market, what I specifically target, road bikes haven't changed a whole hell of a lot, especially for entry levels in the last 15 to 20 years. So you can get some good value out of used. But I'm thinking about this the other day, and I was like, well, maybe I need to branch out and do other types of bikes. And I've kind of talked myself back out of it every time, because think about it as used bikes. Used bikes are being used, or how they're being used. Well, road bikes are kind of more your sports car. You kind of polish it up, you take care of it. It only goes on a road, it only does like road miles and so forth, that kind of thing. And the chance of that bike being in a better condition is a lot better than a mountain bike. A mountain bike is kind of like your Jeep. You're taking off road and bashing it. Now, to say you can find a good deal on a mountain bike out there, but when you're looking at mountain bikes specific, You got a suspension unknowns. That's the thing where if it's not the original owner, they're not going to know if that suspension's been tuned or prepped or maintenance over the last years of however old the bike is. So that's going to be a very big negative, because just getting a shock tune, not the both of them, just one of them is going to cost you like $300. Period. So think about that. If the bike is in really mint condition and everything seems to be in good order and the suspension's been maintained and so forth, okay, that might be a good buy. But if it's been kind of like flat tires and bashed up and that kind of thing, they've taken a lot more abuse. So you're going to have to put even more money into it to get it rideable. So that's where new kind of comes into play, because new means all that suspension is safe to use and it's been worked on and all that. So that's where you kind of divide the line between the road bike versus the mountain bike purchase. But recreational in between, you can buy a good used bike in there without paying the premium price. So that's my little 2 bits of thinking about pricing on versus new. So going to new into the manufacturers like Specialized and Giant, they're putting their bikes on sale. But the big one that's coming down the line, and this kind of hits the home with me, because my parents and I, when we were had Parker bikes back in the day in Parker, Colorado in the 90s, we were a Trek dealer. Yep, just hinted it. Trek is having their Trek Fest again. And with Trek Fest, it has a big umbrella of different things of bikes, accessories, and so forth. It's usually some stuff that they actually overproduce on purpose for the sale. I don't know if that's a particular case in this scenario, but it starts on March 1st. So you can go to these websites, trekbikes.com or specialized.com or the Pros Closet, and go see those deals. And you kind of compare between the new versus used and that kind of thing, what's available today and what Trek's going to be releasing on the 1st. And if you go down to your Trek dealer this weekend, you might get them to say something, or you can probably tell on their sales floor where they have a lot of hint. They have to pre-game that floor, so you'll see like there's a whole bunch of one particular model that might be one that's going on sale. So anyway, March 1st is the big launch for that. But going back in kind of the history, back into the late 80s and 90s, Trekfest had this annual sale. And I thought it was a little bit later, like in June, and it'd be like a week-long kind of thing, and they'd have like 3 different bike models would be on sale, a mountain, a hybrid, and a road. And if they're going to follow that particular model, which is great, but that kind of hits all 3, in which I'm pretty sure they probably will have to do that. In addition to a whole good assortment of accessories, from some helmets might be on sale, definitely clothing, because that's a big margin for them, and some others like tools and tubes and stuff. But it's going to be Trek specific branding, so Trek and Bontrager. So if they have accessory assortment in that, it's going to be specifically to that. So don't be going in there looking for a Shimano chain deal. It's not going to work. It's going to be their specific branding that they're going to be trying to push out there for this particular Trek Fest sale. So keep in mind that. So if you're looking for or thinking about getting a new bike, and this is one of those Trek Fest slogans was, think spring, we're right there. I mean, we're like at the cusp of it, at the end of February, beginning of March, and depending on your market, I mean, I'm in Colorado. We just got nailed by snow and it's negative temperatures outside right now. But hey, it's going to be in the 40s and the 50s by the weekend. Seriously, in 3 days. So anyway, I mean, that's where spring is kind of hit for a lot of people in the different particular areas. But this is a good opportunity because Trek, I mean, they, big sales like this is a big club nationwide. It's like they have to do this thing nationwide. So you can still be in a foot of snow. They're still going to have this sale. So anywho, it'd be a great opportunity just to pop your head in and see what they have going on sale. Also, you can register on their website as their email address thing to be notified. But I would check on March 1st and see what is kind of hit. And if they're following that model, what they did back in the 90s of having 3 or 4 bike models on sale, ready to go, and sizes available, which is the big kicker that we've had for the last 2 or 3 years. In addition to this opportunity might be a good time to get that new helmet or shoes or whatever else they may have on sale. So it's going to be a more kick. So why I bring this up as in Trek Fest being a big deal, then the other brands are going to follow suit and go, oh, we need to go do these big umbrella tent type sales again. So you're going to be looking at Specialized is probably going to roll one out. I almost guarantee you. I don't think Giant really did theirs on, but you might see a Cannondale version, that kind of thing. Then the bike shops will have their own independent ones, that kind of thing, which we kind of cooled our jets on that the last couple of years because we were so damn busy with the COVID surge and all that. We've kind of forgot that kind of flow of how we did sales. Now it's going to kind of hit. So the time to buy bikes is going to be in the next couple of weeks. If you're looking for something new, that's great. If you're looking for something used right now, there's a whole bunch from myself and also Pros Closet have been sitting there ready to go. So it's one of those things that, this is an opportunity to take a look. This is going to be more so than years before. And that's why I'm really presenting this particular live stream, because it is going to, this is the difference between years past. It's not the same struggle that we've been going through year to year. And it's another sale. First class is going out of sale again, that kind of thing. Or out of business again. One of those, it's one of those, like, this has really been leading up to a big push, and trucks been holding back, and boom, they're going to do it big because they have the pockets to do it. And they've actually probably pre-gamed like they did in years past, instead of just kind of panicked and kind of blow out some of the inventory during the off season. They're like, okay, let's hold off and do this big event and then push that. Well, here's another thing too. This has happened in the past. And, if you're looking for more of a price savvy, don't desperately need a bike right now, but you're going to be looking at one. They've always extended those sales sometimes, like not always, but sometimes they've extended them. So you'll have a Truck Fest, then you'll have Truck Fest 2 in about a month. Like all the stuff that didn't sell, and they're like, ooh, we need to knock that down a little bit more and push those out or get more value. So that may happen too. So if you're the savvy one that just wants to wait for a good deal, probably April will be the time when they start to realize, like, oh, this is stuff we're really sitting on. We need to make go away. So anywho, that's my 2 bits of grabbing a bike this time of year. And hey, if you have any questions or anything like that, or if you want to put comments below on bike brands locally or bike shops locally that are going to do some sales or have been doing some sales, throw those down and share the wealth to the community. Well, thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Get out there and ride some bikes. Let's do this.